Hello, this video will walk you through completing the Leader Network Diagnostic. Feel free to contact me if you have further questions after watching the video and reviewing the instructions. I'll go ahead and share my screen. Okay, so as part of helping you to develop your career networks, we're going to conduct a Leader Network Diagnostic, and this is the instruction video for doing this. Our objectives for this project are to help you evaluate your current career network, set goals to make your network more effective, and hopefully reduce your reluctance toward networking. The materials that you see me refer to in this video are available in your Moodle shell. The different pages of the Leader Network Diagnostic and these slides are all available there. Okay, so this is what your Leader Network Diagnostic looks like. It's a Okay, so this is what your Leader Network Diagnostic looks like. It is a PDF that you will download, and you will have to fill it out with pen and paper, and then either scan or take pictures of the completed assignment. I know it's a little bit old school, but it helps. What the hell? Okay, Leroy, I turned off the automatic slide advance. So let's start again on this slide. Okay, so this is what the Leader Network Diagnostic looks like. You will download this PDF directly from Moodle, complete the diagnostic with pen and paper, and then either scan the completed pages or take pictures of the completed pages to upload them into Moodle. I know it's a little old school, but doing it this way helps to keep it economical for you. So the first step is to think about who is in your network right now. So think about the people who are the most critical for your success in your working career and list them. You can use initials or nicknames. You don't need to use full names. Just make sure that you can remember who each one is. And so you're going to list them on the column and on the row above. Then I want you to think about the relationships among the people in your network. Does WG know MB, for example? And put an X in the box if the two people know each other fairly well, not passing acquaintances, but actually know each other fairly well. So for example, and then once you've completed going through your whole network, count the number of check boxes and put that number in this upper left-hand corner. All right, and be sure that you're only using the check boxes that are within this triangle. Okay, next step, we're going to describe our network. And so first, I want you to start by describing yourself up here at the top. What is your gender? What is your department or expertise? And what is your level? I know that the gender that it provides is only male or female. Please feel free to add a non-binary option if you need it. For each contact, then go through and first indicate the closeness of your relationship here. So on this end of the triangle is incredibly close relationships, and on this end is very distant, with a couple of options to denote relationships that kind of fall in between. Then select each contact's gender or write in as appropriate. And then if the person is outside your immediate organizational boundary, put a checkbox here. So if they work in a different organization, or if they're a customer of yours, anything that is outside your organization, you would put a checkbox there. Checkbox there. Excuse me. Anything that is outside your organization, you would check the box. Next, list each person's department or area of expertise. So for example, I'm a management faculty member, and this contact is a management faculty member as well. Then finally, list each individual's level. You have 4 choices. IC for individual contributor. FLM means frontline manager, so like first level supervisors. MLM is middle level managers, and SM means senior managers. So that would be like directors, vice presidents, and above. Finally, check the box if the person is co-located with you. You can define location in whatever way makes the most sense. So it could be as small as the city that you reside in, or it could be somebody that resides within the, upper Northwest region. So you get to define location in the way that makes the most sense for your career. And then once you've filled in all of your people's information, you're going to calculate the stats at the bottom, add up the different genders, add up the number of stakeholders, etc. All right, so this one is a little complex, so I'm going to go ahead and walk you through it relatively slowly. First of all, remember that you had counted the total number of check boxes on that first page. So I'm going to have you go ahead and enter that number right here. So you identified 36 relationships between the people in your network. Next, in column A, I want you to identify the total number of people that you listed. So the people that you have a relationship in your network, you could list up to 15. So you'll notice this goes from 2 to 15, right? And what I want you to do is write the corresponding number from column B in this box. So in my sample network, I had identified 12 network contacts. And so I'm taking the number 66 and putting it here. What this is just the total number of relationships that could exist in a network that has 12 people, right? And then you're going to take your first number, which is the relationships between your network contacts that does exist, divide it by the total number that could exist, and you get your density score. In this instance, it's 0.54. Then you subtract that from 1, multiply it by 100, and you've got your final openness score right here. And then you can look at how open or closed your network is on this handy dandy chart right here and kind of figure out, okay, my network is a 46, which means that it's somewhat insular, which means that my network is somewhat interconnected because I have a relatively high density score. Okay. Next, you're going to take the stats from step 2 that you calculated at the bottom of step 2 and just enter them here. So you'll enter the breakdown in genders. Please feel free to add other options as necessary. You'll break down the number of people that are outside your organization, outside your department or area of expertise, and what level the people in your network occupy and what ties are in the same location as you. All right, now we're going to kind of create a picture of the network. So on step 5, you're going to notice that you have the option of filling in 6 different areas, right? And so you could have an area that, oh, these are all the people that I work with at corporate, and then these are the people that I work with in perhaps like different areas, different departments of the business, right? And so graph your contacts by the primary way you know them or interacted with them. You could have an area that's family and friends. That's absolutely fine, but put your contacts within each kind of slice of the pie. And then based upon your closeness score that you use the rings to indicate how close you feel to them. Very close would be right inside this ring, right next to your ring. And then you'll see close, not close, and distant. So distant contacts would be out here. One final thing that you'll do as you picture your resources is you can use a shape to denote your different contacts. And so you can say, I have a person who really is operational, who helps me get my work done every day at work. And you might decide on this slide or on this page to draw a square around people that are operational. People that provide more personal resources, you can use a circle, and that might be mentors and coaches. That might be friends that you feel safe venting with. That might be people who have referred you to opportunities. So that would be a circle. And then people that help you to be more strategic and think about the future, either for your career or for the organization. You could denote them with a triangle. All right. So now you're going to evaluate your network and compare it to an effective network and set some goals. So as you're thinking about your network in step 6, you're going to visualize your future state. And I want you to think about both short and long-term career goals and think about a specific organizational or performance goal that you need to accomplish. And then think about, okay, if I want to achieve these work goals, what should my network look like? And so you should know that effective networks are not necessarily intuitive. We often connect with people that help us finish the job right here and now, and we don't often think about the future. We often are connected with people who just happen to be in our close location. And so they come across our vision regularly. We often interact with people that we perceive as similar to us in some way or another. And then we often find it easier to just stay with the network we have than to change it as necessary. And so you're fighting against all of these kind of comfortable biases that we all have. And what you're trying to do is fight against them and set goals that are going to help your network be different from the network that these biases produce. All right. Remember, as we went through what effective networks look like, we talked about how they are open and diverse and deep. And so I want you to compare your network to what we've already discussed effective networks look like. And then based upon your evaluation of your network, set some goals. So you might have a network that's relatively closed, right? Like my openness score in my example network was 46. And I might set a goal that says, I want to increase the openness in my network. That is a network goal. Then you're going to develop a networking strategy. And I'm going to talk to you a little bit more about what that is. And then you're going to identify specific actions that will help you, that align with your strategy, that will help you achieve your goals. So, for example, if I want to increase my openness score, my networking strategy might be to add people to my network that don't know the people that are already there. So add some new people to my network that don't know the people that are already in my network. And how might I do that would be the specific action. And you might say, I'm going to go to this work conference and I'm going to try to have a meaningful connection with at least one other person there, somebody that I identify that has similar interests or similar responsibilities, perhaps. All right. So sometimes when people set network goals, they say, I want to grow my network. That's not enough. It's often true that we need to add new ties to our network, but I want you to think about as you're adding ties that they're achieving specific goals for you. Are you adding ties that will help increase your openness or diversity? Are you adding ties that will provide resources that you don't currently have, like finding a mentor to help you in your career? So don't just grow it. That's not a good network goal, but think about how you're going to make changes in your network structure and diversity, etc. Diversity and openness are similar, but they're not the same. Diversity means that your network crosses boundaries, whereas openness means that the folks in your network don't all know each other, right? So openness is really structural based upon the ties between the people in your network, and diversity is really kind of more contextual based upon like, oh, I have people that have different areas of expertise in my network, right? They could be tied to each other. So they won't increase my openness, but I still am gaining from having different viewpoints from the different areas of expertise. All right, cool. When you are writing your strategy, please don't just restate your goal. So if you say, I want to increase the openness of my network, and then your strategy is, I'm going to increase the openness of my network. Oops, excuse me. And then your strategy is, I'm going to increase the openness of my network. You haven't named a strategy. Instead, I want you to show me with your strategy that you understand how to achieve your goal. So if your goal is to increase the diversity in your network, your strategy could be about, I'm going to add people to my network whose area of expertise is different than mine. Cool. Another thing to think about as you're setting your network goals is to think about the resources that your network provides, right? And so you can think about resources as existing on two continuums. It could be that people have resources that help you in your career, or it could be that people have resources that help you on the personal side, right? So completing like tasks and work, or kind of personal development. The other continuum is that people that can help you in the here and now versus people who can help you move forward and develop for the future. And so you'll notice that people who help you with work here and now are helping you perform. People that help you with work, but more toward the future, are people that are helping you advance and think ahead. People that help you with the more personal side in the here and now are providing you with support and friendship. And people that are helping you with the personal stuff, but leaning toward the future, are people that are helping you develop and advance. And so people that help you perform in the here and now might provide assistance or just make you feel energized and happy at work. People that help you at work for the future might help you by sponsoring you for different opportunities or helping you think innovatively. People who help you for the personal things here and now might provide emotional support or introduce you to their connections. And people that help you on the personal side for the future might be your coaches and your mentors who help you advance in your personal development. They also could be people that you help because that helps you develop your purpose. Here's a little bit about the difference between mentorship and sponsorship that I think is useful to know. Mentors are the folks that kind of help you with your personal development, while sponsors are the folks that help you achieve specific like advancements, promotions, performance, etc. All right. So when we talk about networking strategies, you can use building strategies, which we've already kind of talked about. You can do specific things to maintain your network, which often means perhaps deepening or sustaining your current relationships. You can think about ways that you can leverage your network. And you can also think about ways that it might be important to transition your network. This can be the hardest thing to do, but it can be very important. And then finally, specific activities that correspond with each of these strategies is, oh, okay, so how do I go about building my network? And here are some ideas. What are some specific things that I can do to maintain existing ties? And here are some ideas. What are things that I can do to leverage my network? And what are things that I can do to help me transition if I need to? So think about these things when you're writing down your strategies and your activities. All right. I hope that this exercise will help you evaluate your current career network, set network goals, and hopefully reduce your reluctance toward networking. And I look forward to seeing your completed assignment. Thank you.